Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In my last video, I have covered the thread lifecycle with a real life example and some key points about it. In this video, we are going to discuss about how to create a Java thread in two ways, by extending thread class and by implementing runnable interface with practical examples. As well as I will explain which way is most recommended to create thread by extending thread class or by implementing runnable interface. Additionally, I will focus on some frequently asked interview questions with practical. Okay. So we will be covering all of this in this video. So please keep watching until the end and you will gain clear understanding of how to create threads in Java. Okay. So let's get started. So in Java, we can create thread by using two ways, by extending thread class and by implementing runnable interface. So first let's create a thread by extending thread class. Okay. So for that, let's create a class and it suppose thread demo and extends here thread class. So thread class is a built-in class or a predefined class that Java provides us to create thread, which is available in java.lang package. Basically, Java multi-threading concept is based on thread class, and therefore to create thread using the thread class we need to extend the thread class. Okay. And now let's override run method which is available in thread class. We can see here if we press control and click, see here this is a thread class. This is the inbuilt thread class which is available in java.lang package. And this is a run method which we have to override in our class to write our own code. So just override thread class run method. Public void run. Okay. And simply write here hello thread. So here overriding concept is also came. Now here question comes that why do we need to override run method, right? So in multi-threading, when we create thread, then we need to assign some task to that thread to execute. And that task or logic we have to write inside run method. So simply keep in mind run method is the method which contains the code that thread will execute. In simple words, run method means execution code of thread. Okay. And now inside main method, let's create an object of this class that is of thread demo class. So thread demo thread equals to new thread demo. So here I have created a thread demo class object or we can say thread object. Now let's call start method on thread object. So start method is available in thread class which is used to start the execution of thread. Now again question comes that why do we need to call start method on thread object, right? So when we call start method on thread object, then lot of things happen internally. So what they are, let's understand. So when we call start method on the thread object, then JVM creates a new native thread, also called as system thread, that corresponds to your Java thread object. And then JVM allocate a new stack for the new thread and schedule the new thread for the execution by the help of thread scheduler. And once thread schedule for the execution by the help of thread scheduler, that means once thread scheduler allocates CPU time to the thread for execution, then internally a run method get called and thread start executing code inside run method. So here hello thread will print on console. So all these things happen internally when we call start method on thread object, and therefore it's necessary to call start method on thread object to start the execution of thread. Clear? Now let's run the code. You can see here we have got an expected output. So in this way we can create thread by extending thread class. So basically if you have to create thread by extending thread class, you will have to follow four steps. First step, extend thread class. Okay. Second step, override the run method. And third step is to create thread object. And fourth step will be to call start method on thread object to start the execution of thread. That's it. And once thread start execution, then it further will continue thread lifecycle and thread automatically will get terminated after completes the executing code inside run method. Clear? Now let's focus on some frequently asked interview questions on run method and start method. After that, I will explain how we can create thread by implementing runnable interface. Okay? All right. So most frequently asked question is, can you start a thread twice? Or they can ask, is it possible to start a thread twice? That means, can we restart the thread again? So let's check it out. So here I have already started the thread by calling start method on thread object. And now let's call start method again on same thread object. Okay. So here you can see I have called start method twice on the same thread object. Okay. Now let's run the code and let's see what will happen. You can see here we have got an illegal thread state exception. Okay. So it implies that we cannot restart the thread twice. And the reason is when you create new thread, it is in the new or born state. And when we call the start method on thread, it enter into runnable state and start executing its run method, right? All this I have already explained in thread lifecycle video. Okay. So once thread has complete executing code inside run method, it move to the dead state. And once thread enter into a dead state, we cannot restart the thread. And if we try to restart the thread, that means if you try to call start method on thread that is already in the dead state, you can get an illegal thread state exception. Clear? So if interviewer asks you, can you start a thread twice? Then you can simply say no. We cannot start a thread twice because once a thread gets started and executed, it enter into the dead state. Therefore, if we try to start a thread twice, it can give a runtime exception and it's illegal thread state exception. Clear? Now let's move on another question and it is, can we call the run method directly instead of start method? So let's check it out. So let's comment out this line and this line as well. Okay. And call here run method directly on thread object. So we can write thread dot run. Now let's run the code and let's see what will happen. You can see here code compiles fine without any error or exception and we have got an expected output. It means it is valid. We can call run method instead of start method, but it won't create thread because when we call start method then thread is created and internally run method get called, which create stack for new thread. So the answer of this question will be yes, it is valid to call run method directly instead of start method, but it won't work as a thread. It will work as a normal object. Clear? And now let's move on another question and it is what will happen if we don't override the thread class run method. So let's check it out. So let's comment out this run method and this line as well. Okay. And remove this comment from here. So here I have comment out this run method and call here start method on thread object. Okay. Now let's run the code and let's see. You can see here the compiler won't show any error, but we got nothing in output because if we don't override the run method, then by default thread class run method will execute. But thread class run method doesn't have its implementation. It means thread class run method is empty. It doesn't contain any code to execute. It means a thread class run method is empty. Nothing is there to print. You can see just press control and click. Okay, so this is a thread class. This is a run method. You can see here. Nothing is here to print. and therefore we won't get any output. So answer will be, if we don't override run method, then nothing will happen. But we won't get any output, because if we don't override run method, then by default thread class run method will execute. But thread class run method has empty implementation. There is nothing to print, and therefore we won't get any output. Okay, all right. Now let's move on. How to create Java thread by implementing runnable interface. Okay. So for that, let's create another class, and it's suppose my thread that already I have created. Okay. And now let's implement here runnable interface. So the runnable interface is a built-in interface that Java provides us to create a new thread. It has only one method, and it's a run method. You can see here. If I press Ctrl and click, then you can see here, this is a runnable interface having a single run method, which we have to override in our class. So let's override the run method. Public void run. Okay. And simply write here hello my thread. Okay, fine. And now let's create an object of this class. So let's create it. My thread, new my thread. Okay, all right. And now let's call start method to start the thread. But for that we will need to create thread class object, because only thread class has start method. And here we have implement a runnable interface, right? And runnable interface only contain run method, right? And therefore to call start method, first we will have to create thread class object. So let's create it. Thread, and it's suppose thread 1. And now let's call start method on thread object dot start. Okay, all right. So if I run this code, we won't get any output, because here we have called start method on thread object, right? So when thread will start, then internally thread class run method will execute, and thread class run method doesn't contain any code to execute, that already we have seen, right? And therefore we won't get any output. But basically, we don't have to call the thread class run method. Instead, we have to call the my thread class run method, because we have written the code for the thread here, right? But how compiler will understand that when thread will start, then this my thread class run method will have to execute? Because first compiler will look for run method in thread class, because we have called start method on thread object, right? So to make compiler understand, here inside thread class constructor, we will need to pass this my thread class object. So let's pass it here inside thread class constructor, and it's my thread. That's it. We are done. Nothing we have to do. And now if I run this code, then first thread will start, and internally this my thread class run method will execute, because here we have passed my thread class object, and we will get expected output. So let's check it out. Let's run the code and let's see. You can see here we have got an expected output. So if you have to create thread by implementing runnable interface, then simply follow 6 steps. So the first step is implement runnable interface, and second step is to override the run method, and the third step will be to create the current class object where runnable interface is implemented. Okay, and the fourth step will be create thread class object, and the fifth step will be to pass a runnable object to this thread class constructor. So runnable object means the class object where runnable interface is implemented. That class object is called as runnable object. Clear? You can see here, just press Ctrl and click. So this is built-in thread class, and this is thread class constructor, which is taking runnable object as an argument. Okay, all right. And sixth step will be to call start method on thread object. That's it. So in this way we can create a thread by implementing runnable interface. Okay, so here I have explained both the ways of create thread. Now question comes that which way is mostly recommended to create thread, by extending thread class or by implementing runnable interface, right? So in Java, both thread class and runnable interface can be used to create threads. But most recommended way to create thread is by implementing runnable interface. Let's understand why. Okay. The first approach is thread class is heavyweight than runnable interface. And it's because when you create thread by extending the thread class, each new thread creates its own stack to store local variables and other data, which can consume a lot of memory if you create multiple threads. Whereas when you create thread by implementing the runnable interface, you don't create a new thread directly because start method is available in thread class, not in runnable interface. Therefore, when you implement runnable interface, you don't create a new thread directly. Instead, you create a task that can be executed by a thread because the runnable interface contains only the run method, which make it more lightweight. So this is the first approach. And second approach is if you create thread by extending thread class, and if you want to extend any other class, then you cannot extend it because Java doesn't allow to extend more than one class. That means at a time you can extend only one class. And to extend or to inherit more than one class is nothing but the multiple inheritance. And Java doesn't support multiple inheritance, which means you can only extend one class at a time. Whereas if we implement runnable interface, we can extend any other class. Basically, in modern Java programming, it's more common to use the runnable interface to manage threads rather than extending the thread class directly. Clear? That's it. I hope you understand how to create thread by extending thread class and by implementing runnable interface. In the next video, I will explain thread class constructors and methods. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and thank you so much for watching.